When times get tough, do you prefer to solve your problems on your own or seek help from others? According to research, about 65% of people prefer to share their problems with others. However, upon closer examination, it often turns out that talking to others not only fails to solve the problem, but can sometimes make it worse. Great philosophers and thinkers have a different perspective on this. Aristotle, the great Greek philosopher, believed that certain intellectual and self-reflective issues must be resolved solely by oneself. Only then do you realize that you have become mentally strong enough to no longer need help from others. Today, with the guidance of Aristotle, we will explore 5 important life principles that you must resolve within yourself, without seeking help from anyone. You should do this quietly, otherwise your strong character will never fully develop. Number 1. Willpower alone is not enough for decision-making. It might sound a bit strange, but the truth is that we don't have complete freedom when it comes to making decisions. Various factors influence our choices. Aristotle said, "A person is defined by their capacity to make decisions about what they do." But what does that mean? Let me explain with an example. Imagine someone's car has a flat tire on the road, and they ask for your help as you're passing by. What do you do? Do you stop? Your answer might be yes. But here's another question. What if you read a news story last week about someone using this exact trick to steal another person's car? Would you still help them? You see, it's quite simple. Our decisions depend on countless factors, and the difference between people lies in their ability to make the right decision despite unfavorable conditions. When we make a decision, we're not standing at a crossroads with just 2 paths. We're standing at a complex intersection created by our circumstances. Factors like culture, family, friends, education, location, family beliefs, physiology, and so many others. So where does Aristotle's perspective come into play? It's in those moments when a person finds themselves in such conditions and doesn't allow these pre-existing factors to influence the quality of their decisions. For example, someone born into a difficult family situation, with a family they're not happy with, would typically be expected to turn out like their family and share a similar fate. After all, they were raised with the same mindset. But what do they do in the end? First, they come to the realization that the path their family took was wrong. Then they work hard on their thoughts and beliefs to eliminate those wrong ideas as much as possible. Years later, that person becomes incomparable to their family. They had no role in choosing their family, but they took responsibility for the part that was within their control, and despite the difficulty, managed to change their circumstances. The whole point is that we should be able to make the right decisions with the information we're given and manage our conditions effectively. As an American novelist once said, life isn't always about holding a good hand of cards. Sometimes it's about playing a poor hand well. Rule 2. Establish clear moral values for yourself. What do you think freedom means? Freedom becomes meaningful when we follow and respect the rules we've set for ourselves. Often, people misunderstand freedom. Most of the time, we think freedom means doing whatever we want. But true freedom means staying committed to the principles and ethics we've defined for ourselves. That's when we are truly free. Keep in mind that ethics and values are different. We might change our ethics over time, but if we change our values, we can't achieve anything meaningful in life. Without strong values, life will carry us like a dead fish wherever it wants. For example, one of our values might be to avoid wasting time with friends because we've been hurt by it before, or to stay away from alcohol and cigarettes. But if we don't firmly establish these as absolute values, we'll easily compromise and ignore them. As soon as a friend calls us, we quickly give in and say yes. Here we haven't built our values strongly enough to even dare to show them to others. Rule 3. Understand what you truly want from life. Aristotle said, "I consider the one who conquers their desires braver than the one who conquers their enemies, because the hardest victory is the victory over oneself." So what does this quote tell us? It tells us that if we can control ourselves, we are truly strong individuals. But wait a moment. Many people see this self-control as depriving themselves of life's pleasures, when that's not the case at all. In fact, one of humanity's greatest goals has always been to seek pleasure. More pleasure leads to finding deeper meaning in life. But what if it's not controlled? That's when things become much harder for us. Perhaps until you know what you want from life, you can't set clear goals for it or take the right path. What do you truly want from life? Often people are faced with this question and start talking about wanting a house, a car, an ideal spouse, and things like that. But that's the wrong answer. The question wasn't, what do you want in life? The question was, what do you want from life? Have you ever thought about it? Rest assured, answering this philosophical question can completely transform your life. So if you want to achieve your goals and stay disciplined, make sure to take control of this aspect. Rule 4, strive for balance in your ethics. As Aristotle said, I do not praise the one who gets angry at the wrong people, for the wrong reasons, or in the wrong way, at the wrong time, or for too long. This statement may seem unusual, but it carries profound meaning. As Aristotle points out, the best way to control our reactions is to strive for balance and always choose moderation between extremes. This applies to planning as well. Unfortunately, many people decide overnight to completely transform their lives starting the next day. But within a week, all their energy and motivation fade away. Why does this happen? The reason is clear, because they go to extremes. Overdoing things and putting too much pressure on ourselves makes it impossible to sustain those actions in the long term, as we're not accustomed to them. For example, imagine you join a gym and are in a hurry to build your body quickly. What do? Many people faced with this question head straight for heavy weights and start training beyond their capacity and habits. Within a week, they experience burnout and may even suffer serious muscle injuries, leaving them sidelined for 3 to 4 months and unable to exercise at all. Meanwhile, if they had pursued the process in a balanced way, they would have been much closer to their ideal after 2 or 3 months. As Sadi wisely said, the traveler is not the one who sometimes rushes and sometimes tires. The true traveler is the one who moves steadily and consistently. Rule 5. Use the double-edged sword to your advantage. Our habits, while they can distance us from our desires, can also be an excellent opportunity to achieve our goals faster. Almost all great individuals, whether intentionally or unintentionally, had positive habits that led them to success. Aristotle divides habits into 3 categories. 1. Theoretical habits, which relate to learning. 2. Behavioral habits, which involve pure actions. 3. Technical habits, which pertain to developing new skills for professional tasks. The habits that are practical for us are the technical ones. Without these habits, even with a mountain of motivation, we cannot accomplish tasks correctly and with quality in the short term. In essence, it's the drops that make up the ocean. So if you want to plan and have your goals be impactful in the long term, you must create small but strong habits that will help you grow over time.